What's interesting about you, Tina, is I believe you broke into tech sales in less than a month and landed a great job. I see your name everywhere on LinkedIn, so I'm so excited to be talking with you here today so that we can hopefully help some others break into tech sales and just learn more about the industry through your firsthand experiences. So, Tina, why don't you share with everyone who you are, what you currently do, and then we can get more into the background, the lessons, the tips, et cetera, et
Okay,
cetera.
cool. Well, hey, I come to you. Born and raised in Georgia. Currently working in construction tech. We'll dig into how I got to that. But right now, I'm an SDR working inbound leads in construction tech. Absolutely loving what I do. Got a great company, great team, great managers. It's awesome. So right now, I can tell you, I'm having a lot of fun. Loving sales.
Yeah, you got those warm leads flowing on that inbound
Yeah,
team.
yeah. Lots of fun. It's funny because they started us out on the cold leads just to kind of get our feet wet. And by the time
Yeah,
they moved us
yeah.
over to the warm leads, I was like, this is so much easier. It's crazy.
It is way easier to speak with somebody that actually wants to talk
Yep,
with you. And I equate it to if your friend calls you on the phone and you see their name
yep.
pop up, you know who they are. You're gonna answer the phone, speak with them. If you're getting a call like I am right now, my phone's ringing, I'm not gonna answer it, but I don't recognize the number. I'm probably not going to answer. And that is why cold outbound is so hard. And for anyone that's just super beginner base level, SDR stands for sales development rep. Inbound team is companies allocate resources to marketing in different campaigns. So potential customers reach out to the company and then speak with folks like Tina. And then outbound is it's cold outreach. So you're identifying companies that may be a good fit for your product or service or solution, and you reach out to them cold. You face a lot of rejection, cold calling, emailing, and we'll get into all that here today. Tina, what were you doing 6 months ago, and why did you decide to pursue a career in tech?
It's funny because 6 months ago, I was doing project management at my husband's construction company. And he does fix and flips, construction deals, all types of stuff like that. And it's funny because I ended up there because previously I was doing construction materials. I was working on a brickyard, and this is brick like building bricks. So you come up to this yard, there's bricks all over the place. I was working in an environment where I was dealing with general contractors, masons, and all that stuff. So I have a long career just kind of that is really construction industry based. And so that's basically what I was doing, just kind of construction industry stuff leading up until now. And I ended up getting into sales because when I left my construction materials job, I wanted to do something else. I got let go because they had a merger. So I was like, well, this is my opportunity to do something else, right? Beforehand, my husband needed help with his construction company. So I said, okay, before I go back into the job market, I'll help you for the next couple of years in your company, get things straightened. And 2 years after that, the pandemic hit. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't go right into work right now because I didn't know what was going on. Everything was weird, right? So I waited. And after all that passed, I said, okay, Tina, it's time to get back out here and, get your career going. What are you going to do? So I did a lot of searching, YouTube, university, Googling, what am I going to get into? And I decided I wanted to get into tech. Initially, I thought I wanted to be a coder, right? Because, coding sounds cool, make a lot of cool stuff. And I tried it. I did a boot camp and everything. And I came to the conclusion that it was going to take me way too long to learn how to code. I was like, I need something quick. So then I started digging again and I came around to tech sales. There's so much content out there between everybody knows Cyrus. I saw his content as well. I saw your content, Black Heights, Antoine Wade. I saw his content. And so when I looked at everybody's content on the tech sales, it brought me to CourseCareers, and that's what brought me here. So that's how I got here.
It's interesting to have that self-awareness, that realization of wow, it's going to take a lot of technical learning and knowledge and know-how to be a coder and engineer. And I think that can be learned, but it's much harder because it's not as natural as just using your existing communication skills to find success in tech sales. Because so long as you can communicate, listen, and do enough learning to be dangerous to know about your industry, your product, you'll be able to succeed in the job. But it's also not for everyone. So as you were in the research phase, you knew you wanted to get in tech. You had some background in that construction industry. It's nice how you ended up in an industry where you already had some knowledge to then sell their product. You mentioned CourseCareers was the main resource to help you getting hired. What role did CourseCareers play in helping you land your current sales development job?
Absolutely. Well, the terminology, just being able to go into an interview, I know the terms, you're not throwing me off with anything. I've already practiced. I know, I understand what all the acronyms mean. It was really helpful. It gave me a lot of confidence in my interview. And also when I was in the interview, the interviewer said, yeah, they knew CourseCareers. They're like, yeah, we've had really great success with CourseCareers. And so that was a plus as well. So that gave me a little boost, So that was awesome. So that combined with the fact that I had the construction background, those two together, they really loved the combination of the two. So that's really what helped me out a lot.
How long did it take from the time you started CourseCareers to the time you ended up landing your SDR job?
Altogether, it was probably a little bit more than 30 days. Like after I finished CourseCareers, I had an offer letter, like a little bit, maybe 2 weeks after that, I had an offer letter.
That's incredible. And what was that process of getting that offer letter?
What I did, it's funny because I was very strategic about the companies that I chose. I knew that I wanted to break into tech as fast as I possibly could. So the first thing I did was I went back to my previous roles and I looked at all the technology that I had used in previous jobs, all the technology that I had used personally, and I made a list. And the company that I'm with today was one of the companies whose software we used at one of my previous jobs. So I said, this is my end, right? So that was part of my process. I'm going to be very strategic about this. And so I applied to that company. And it's funny because they just happened to be hiring right when I finished the course. So it was almost like the stars had to magically aligned, So I applied to the position. I sent the recruiter a LinkedIn message, and it was basic. I wasn't asking about a job or anything, but I had applied. I sent her a message and I said, hey, I see you're in the industry. I love having industry people in my network. I really love to connect with you, right? And I sent the connection, and that was it. About a week after I sent her that, she emailed me, and she said, hey, I really liked your LinkedIn message. I would love to interview you. And so I got the interview, did really well in the interview, and in that phone screen, she scheduled me for the interview, for the second and third round interviews while we were on the phone. So I was like, this is awesome. So that's how it went for me. That's how I got in.
That's a great strategy, Tina, and I want to call attention to that because it's so much just immediate value for those still listening is when you are deciding and committed, hey, I want to work in tech. Okay, that's step one. Step two is I need to actually seek out the knowledge learning resources. Okay, CourseCareers check, provides me everything I need to know lingo-wise and just general understanding what I would actually be doing. Okay, step three, when I've completed, I have the certification, looking for companies rather than just cold applying on LinkedIn, randomly, mindlessly going through as many as you can. You ask yourself, what tech have I used in the past based on my unique insight and experience in construction? Okay, short list. And then rather than just applying, as I'm sure you did in some cases, you reached out to people in those companies that could then influence your career path. What was the title of the person you reached out to?
She was the talent acquisition specialist. She was employed by the company.
Okay, talent acquisition. And then when she liked your LinkedIn message, you had your phone screening, you said there were 2 more interviews. What did that process look like, just so that we can demystify for people that want to get hired what's on the other side and applying, but also going through the interviews?
For sure. So I had the phone screen with the talent acquisition person first. It was a 30-minute phone screen. Very conversational. There weren't any really hard-hitting questions. It was really a let's get to know each other conversation. It was really breezy. And then at the end of that conversation, she scheduled me for round 2 and round 3. My round 2 interview was with the hiring manager. He is now my boss. The SDR manager is who I interview with next. He and I had another 30-minute conversation, very conversational, no hard-hitting questions, and it really felt like we're just getting to know each other, and it was really laid back. And then after him, I had an interview with the director of inside sales. Same thing, very easy 30-minute conversation. We talked a lot about my past experience in construction and how I came to the company and this, that, and the fourth. And I think the biggest thing was they were really looking for somebody that had a construction background. They didn't really care as much whether or not you had sales experience, but they really liked the construction background piece, and I think that really, really helped. So I think I tell people, look, every interview may not go like this. I didn't have to do any mock cold calling during the interview. We just really just literally talked for 30 minutes. So it was a really a nice 3-round interview.
So much of it is culture fit as well, and I think with your background in construction, I'm sure that really played into your favor. Do you think you would have gotten hired into tech sales so quickly if it were not for your experience at CourseCareers?
I don't know. I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. You guys have an incredible interview outreach course on there. And then also having the terminology, it would have just taken way too long. I would have had to do all this self-research on Google trying to figure out what's this mean and what's that mean. It's like, I don't think so. I definitely needed the course to get to where I am today.
It sounds like it saved you a lot of time just by putting all of the best practice resources in one digestible library for you to consume and then take action upon. What were some of your key learnings going through CourseCareers that you find yourself actually applying in the job today, in the real world?
Yeah, it's so funny because when I started, that cold calling script section that's in the course, I kind of go back and kind of look at it some more and kind of just take notes from it and everything, because I've definitely met some gatekeepers and go through that whole process. So I kind of mentally kind of go back to the course and I remember things from the course. So that's very, very helpful today. Just everything. It's funny how much you remember. You just go in that mental file cabinet and you're like, oh, I remember this, and you just pull it out and you just go with it. So probably that cold calling section has been really helpful for me today.
How has your life changed as a result of now breaking into tech sales?
Oh man, I love it. I kid with some of the CourseCareer students, and I tell them, the ones that are still trying to break into tech, and I say, dude, the air is different over here. Okay, it really is. I mean, the tech community is the most supportive community I've ever been a part of. Even the CourseCareers community is the most supportive community I've ever been a part of. Just working in tech in general, my job is fully remote. So that's something I've never had before. And there's no micromanaging. They're like, look, just get your calls done, hit your quotas. We're not on your back. Me and my manager have a one-on-one once a week. And other than that, we hardly ever talk, So it's really nice. Very different. I love the flexibility of it. I love the fact that if I want to work somewhere else, I just pick up my laptop and I just go. So it's made a big difference in my life. So, and plus the earning potential, I love this. I mean, I can't believe I get paid to do something. It feels like a game to me. And it's funny because one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning to work, I get on the Salesforce dashboards. I'm like, who's already started making calls? Who's already booked the demo? Oh. I love it. I'm having a good time.
Competition is definitely something it's a part of it, because you can see what everyone else is doing, their numbers, how they're performing, and it's something you got to be ready for. What have been some of the challenges? Of course, it's all sunshine and rainbows, fully remote, higher income potential, being in an industry where you can actually grow up. What have been some of the challenges that you maybe didn't expect, or that you've really had to focus on trying to overcome?
When I first started, it was one of those things where you have so many tech stacks that you're working with. And for me, the thing was, okay, learning all the technologies. Because when I first got on there, I was like, guys, there's a whole bunch of screens that you guys are looking at. So for me, it was more the technology part of it. But once I got used to the screens and everything, I was good. And then also, there will be days where you're just not feeling the phones, or the phones are not feeling you. And it's like, sometimes no matter how hard you try, you're not going to get people to answer. Nobody's going to want to do a demo. It's just, you're going to have those days that are really going to kind of be slow. So those are kind of the challenges that I've had so far, but I've been able to work through them. Now I just expect that I'm going to have days like that. So it's par for the course.
What are you most excited about as you look forward in the next 6 to 12 months being in your current career path?
I look forward to the growth potential. My manager, before like the first week I started, he said, all right, Tina, in 2 months, You and I are going to get together and we're going to plot out the plan to where you want to go next, whether that's AE, account manager. You tell me, I'm going to sit with you and we're going to plan it all out. So that was really exciting for me. I'm like, okay, he's going to really committed to helping me get to the next, thing, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely looking at being AE. Looking at probably 12 months from now. They have AEs that have gone to AE as quickly as 8 months. So I'm like, okay, this time next year, I might be AE.
Good. An AE, account executive, and of course, just more pay with that. You're in more of a closing role rather than just setting meetings, generating pipeline. You're also responsible for working deals. And for those of you that are listening right now, these are terms and lingo that you may not understand today, and it's really critical to understand them if you are going to get hired and have success. So fortunately, Tina, and for everyone listening, we have put together an introductory course to tech sales, teaching people why it may be the right career path for them, what you would actually be doing, and how to get started. So we've linked that down below totally for free. Tina, should people visit that first link below?
Absolutely. Get like Nike and just do it. Just do it. It's time is gonna pass anyway. You might as well let the time pass, but you haven't clicked that link. For sure.
That's a great saying. And everyone I speak with always wishes they would have started sooner, because if you take your story, literally in 30 days, you've completely transformed your career and in life in general. So it's exciting to see, and congratulations on this early success. And I'm sure you'll keep it going. And we really appreciate you being here today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome.